Hello, I'm the last prophet. Welcome back to the United Church of the Creator. Today's topic is on the child being divinity and how we are all quote unquote fallen angels. The child is the truest representation of the Creator's love that we have to see with our own eyes. If you want to know what the Creator is like, just study the child. The child is love. You were born at your highest value and you only descend from there. How far you fall is up to you. Sometimes your childhood is ruined and you are stripped of your divinity before you even had a chance to enjoy it. On the other hand, sometimes you go to the tree of knowledge and eat rotten fruit and destroy yourself willingly. Just know you are born at your highest value. Your spirit is pure. Your love is endless. You are the most forgiving you will ever be. You are what we would refer to as an angel, even if only as a metaphor. Protect your child's innocence at all costs. Do not expose your child to anything that will strip them of that innocence too early, whether it be through unrighteous television shows, music, or even unrighteous things they shouldn't be exposed to that you do in your everyday life that you think is normal because you do not understand how far you have fallen from your own divinity. A couple of months ago, me and my girl were doing adult things and my daughter came in because even though we locked the door, it wasn't shut all the way and she went back out without us knowing. Luckily, my girl had a blanket over her waist, but later that day she asked her, "Mommy, why were you suffocating Daddy?" And that was truly shameful of me. My lustful nature could have just waited until she went to bed. This is an example of what I mean by being mindful of your conduct when dealing with the child. Every interaction is molding them into the adult they will soon become. So you cannot be kissing all the time in front of the child and then mad at the child for kissing too early at school. I hug my girl and give her simple kisses in front of my daughter. I cannot be grabbing handfuls of cheeks and kissing her all over in front of the child because that is exposing her to things she doesn't need to see as a child. Be careful with every interaction you have with the child in order not to diminish their divinity with your own behavior. Understand that you cannot instruct the child to act in a certain fashion while you yourself are doing the opposite. The child will model their behavior off of your actions, not your words. So give your children honorable conduct to mimic. If you extend that mindfulness to your fellow man and woman by displaying righteousness at all times, the world's suffering will cease. I am currently going through it due to cancer, and my baby girl has no idea because her innocence has to be protected at all costs, and telling her that her father is possibly dying would erase that innocence and put too much weight on her at a young age. I told my child's mother to tell her I was an astronaut or something like that and had to go do something important. And when she's older, she can tell her the truth and they can cry together, but just let her be a child because she will encounter enough hurtful things in her lifetime due to the sad nature of man and woman, and her experiencing no trauma within the household is more important than how I feel or my life itself. You can see if the child is in a sad household through their eyes. As they say, the eyes are the window into the soul. My father would beat my mother while she was pregnant, and I have many memories of abuse as a child along with neglect. That is definitely not a good start towards a joyous adult. I want you to know that I can see your child's mistreatment in public, even if you think it's a secret, just by looking into their eyes. You must judge your parenting skills off the spirit of the child, which is easily destroyed if in an unrighteous environment. Do not focus so much on spoiling your child with things while ignoring the necessary attention and love that they need to be showered with. I love when I see children from so-called poor nations with joy all over their face because they have love. Why so-called developed nations are filled with sadness and depression because the child was neglected in the pursuit of more and more things. My children do not have everything that their heart desires, but they have my genuine attention and love. And when you see them out with me, I want you to judge my parenting from how joyful they are without a care in the world, having no idea how much I have suffered or the current state of the world. All they know is love, and it is a full-time job to make sure their environment is so. Because believe me, I'm fucked up, but the outside world gets my best as I try to clean myself up. I can see it in a lot of you adults too. I have suffered so much that I can see suffering in people that I pass on a daily basis, even if they put a smile on for the world. If you look at my eyes, these are what you call suffering eyes. I have a picture of me as a child with a black eye, which was given to me when my father was beating my mother, and I guess I crawled up or walked up and bit his leg, and he backhand punched me across the room. So I have had these eyes from an early age, and that is an unhealthy environment for a divine being brought to the earth for a divine experience to be left in. So when you see me, I'm not tired, I get plenty of rest. I'm just stuck with these eyes. I'm never mad about anything. I'm really super chill, but these eyes never go anywhere. I'm stuck with them, and I can see it in you when I pass you, and I can see it in your children. I know suffering well. When they say your heart will be weighed against a feather in Kemetic teachings, they are referring to the divinity of the child, whose heart is obviously light as a feather and has not yet been scarred by the world. I'm trying my hardest to lighten my heart daily and let go of what feels like an invisible backpack filled with all my life's pain weighing me down. The struggle for you and me is getting back to that place where we are filled with joy for no external reason. And once life gets a hold of you, it will be hard to regain that level of divinity. And believe me, I have met some joyful people with positive outlooks on everything, and still, they are not close to the divine being they came into the world as. Because we have all fallen short of the divine being we were sent here to be. We have a certain level of ego and self-bias that sometimes does not allow us to see how much of a piece of shit we have become. And sometimes when I interact with my daughter and we're having conversations, her pure innocence, reminds me of the monster that I have become in this life. And it is like a giant ladder that you must climb all the way back up to your divinity. And instead of trying to make your child like you need to focus more on being like your child. I know you might not understand what I'm saying, and I do not mean negate your adult responsibilities. I just mean the child is a better person than you, and you can use the child as a compass to get back on the righteous path. The child is what the Creator thought we were all going to be like before we went to the tree of knowledge and thought there was something greater. To my Africans, if you have been studying history, you know that invaders constantly said we were like children. If you've ever watched any slave documentaries, slave owners always say they were like children. They needed me to do X, Y, Z for them. They didn't understand that we were not like children, but that our spirits were in tune with the Creators, and they could not understand how friendly we were to outsiders. Why we would share our food and everything we had. When we said Ma'at was our father's language, they just couldn't make the connection. Outsiders couldn't understand that things were not more valuable than the family, than the community. I want you to try to make yourself recognizable to our Creator before you pass. And I know it's hard. I am not there yet, and I have some terrible choices that I have to answer for after this life. Sometimes I hate the responses that I am going to give to people that have had nothing to do with my life's trauma, even if I end up holding my tongue. And I want you to let the child teach you patience. Let the child teach you love. Let the child teach you joy without the need of so many external things. If you want to know whether what you are doing would be approved of by our Creator, ask your child. And if it is too shameful for you to ask your child, then just know it is something that you shouldn't be doing and that our Creator would not approve. What I mean by this, and I'm only using these examples because I come from this environment, but imagine going to your child and asking the 4 to 7-year-old, should I go rob this person? Should I kill this person? Should I go bomb this nation? Should I poison this water that everyone needs to drink? Should I trade my body for money? Etc., etc. You know that the child would say, what? Or what do you mean? Or simply no, because the child is naturally like the Creator. While we have all fallen so far that we think some of the most unrighteous deeds imaginable are just normal operating procedure, do not expect understanding from our Creator after this life. You will either be recognizable to our Creator or you will not be recognizable. So, today is a great day to start chasing your divinity and leave behind everything that is destructive to you and the people around you. Understand that your tongue can cause more pain than a bullet. So always be mindful of the things you say to people, even in anger, because you did not come into this world to hurt people, whether physically or verbally. If you don't have children, spend time with your nieces and nephews or around your friends' kids to witness divinity firsthand. And if those options are not available to you, there are plenty of videos of children going up to animals or up to people with a spirit so beautiful that we find it awe-inspiring, forgetting that that's our true nature. I can go on and on with the examples of the child's divinity, but as the Honorable Prophet Malcolm X always said, make it plain. And I just wanted to get the point across to the people who are listening. Remember that no matter what you are going through, you are not alone in your suffering, and that I never want you to check out of this life, and that you are loved even if you feel alone. One more thing though, if you are a child of any race and you are being violated sexually by your parents, step-parents, or adopted parents, you can come up to me anywhere you see me and let me know, and I will free you from that suffering instantly, as I know our Father will forgive me. It is not just for you, it's for my mother who was violated as a child by a family member, and for my sister who was violated as a child by a family friend who was supposed to be babysitting, but instead they decided to violate the divine and destroy their capacity to make healthy connections with the opposite sex as adults. And in this church, we protect the vulnerable even at the cost of our own lives. We do not prey on the weak. We do not prey on anyone. We just exist peacefully unless our hand is forced. And for anyone who doesn't like this message, I accept at all times. I just accept. And if you claim to have a sickness, I claim to have a cure for you. I would like to pause here and honor Dr. Kaba Kamini or Booker T. Coleman, however you may know him. I have learned so much from you, and as a fatherless child, you have helped me become a better father through your teachings, and I appreciate you. I forget exactly which video it was when you said, no matter how busy you are, when your child approaches you to play or in need of attention, you must stop what you're doing and nourish the child with your presence. And that was something I was lacking as a go-getter. If you are an African listening to this, search both of those names and soak up some of his wisdom. He is a master teacher. As I will say in every video, we must unify. not in order to become tyrants to those around us, but because we are all we have when most of the world around us has been taught that we are less than. I have put together a study list of our history from the beginning up until now. You can Google each title and learn to love who we were and who we need to become again. At the bottom right, you will notice 3 key things that are needed to unify us, whether you are one of us with the most or the least. Any races that see the list need to apply those 3 things to your own people and to your own household. And do not get me wrong, I feed and clothe people indiscriminately, but I have the knowledge to understand that my people were placed at the bottom and it was not a natural occurrence. This message was brought to you with love from the United Church of the Creator, and I hope you all have a blessed day. Thank you.